Hello everyone and welcome to Victor's Vision. Subscribe for the latest Michigan football news. We are so close to 500 subscribers, so I would greatly appreciate the support. So last Saturday, Michigan hosted their spring game, and this was a pretty anticipated scrimmage. A bunch of new transfer players are on the team, some familiar faces are stepping up, and of course we get to see a quarterback duel between 5-star plus Bryce Underwood and redshirt freshman Jayden Davis. Despite a lot of hype going into this game, they decided to postpone the broadcast until next Saturday. But lucky for you guys, I was at the game and I recorded as much as I could for the people who missed. So enjoy these clips as I break down how it went. So, initial thoughts. Contrary to what his stats say, I thought Bryce Underwood played decent. Not amazing, but his completion percentage is pretty misleading. So here's the good and bad from his performance. The good is his short to mid-range passes are really solid and a massive improvement from the quarterback room last year. When it's 8 to 12 yards out, his throws were absolute piss missiles. Also, while he didn't display it too much, when he decided to run, it was like the wind. Now, for the bad, the deep ball needs some work. I know Michigan has a really good secondary, but the trick play at the end of the game was really his only deep pass in the game. His deep ball does have the distance, but they were missing the mark. Now for his stat line, there were a handful of bad passes that he had, but I would say a good 5 to 6 attempts were not really his fault and more on the receivers he was throwing to. Whether they couldn't hold on or they gave up on the route, it kind of inflated his incompletions. Now, Jayden Davis, I was much more disappointed in. Outside of a few throws here and there, he was not great with the ball. There's a reason everyone that watched the game said that Bryce is going to start, and that's because Bryce looked better in pretty much every aspect. As much as I want to see Jayden Davis succeed, I don't know if it's going to be in Michigan. Donovan McCulley and Justice Haynes barely played in the game, but they both made really nice plays, each of them. Donovan McCulley had a really nice catch near the sideline, and Justice Haynes had a nice run to the outside where he took the top off the defense and ran for 20 plus yards. I think they're both clear-cut starters, and I cannot wait to see them play. One player that really stuck out was Bryson Cusdahl, who was honestly a beast the entire game. I have a very strong hunch he'll probably transfer out of Michigan because Justice Haynes and Jordan Marshall have both of those positions on lock. Speaking of Jordan Marshall, I thought he played all right. Most of the time his runs were straight up the middle for 3 to 4 yards. Nothing too crazy, but we did see him in that Alabama game where he was running super hard and getting these crazy big plays, so I'm really excited to see him play next year. Another player that looked fantastic was tight end Jalen Hoffman, who was Bryce's main target during the game. He was the offensive MVP, in my opinion. He was Bryce's first read for most of his passes, and they were connecting really well. Very rarely did I feel like their passes were not working out. The defense looked great the entire day. The defensive line is super deep, and that is by far their best looking part of the team. You could probably attribute the defense's success to the offense not playing well, but they looked great in just about every aspect. But overall, am I super worried that this team won't compete next year? Not really. I want to make a full breakdown on the schedule in a separate video, but I think that this team will be better than last year. I think their record will be better than 8 wins. The offense is noticeably better in pretty much every department except the tight ends, and even then, I would say that they looked pretty good. We do desperately need a tackle in the portal as soon as possible because the offensive line is pretty shallow right now, but I feel good about the offense because iron sharpens iron. Bryce Underwood is going to be practicing against Michigan's great defense, which will condition him to play against the best of the best. And while the spring game was relatively low scoring, I think the main reason why it was low scoring was the main skill positions only played the first few drives, and then they took a seat. I would say if the main skill positions were playing more of the game, you probably would have seen a lot more scores. With all that being said, I think Bryce has a ton of potential that I saw on display on Saturday. He was a super fluid athlete and his passes were piss missiles. By late August, I think he will be more than ready to lead this team back to contention. I believe that. Anyways, expect a video from me when the spring game becomes available. I will likely make individual videos for each quarterback where I show every pass attempt that they had, so you can get a full picture of how they played. That's about it for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Subscribe for the latest Michigan football news. Go Blue, and I'm out, man.